Did the Fed make the right move today? Joining me to discuss, Carol Markowitz. There she is in New York or Florida or somewhere fantastic. She might even be in the Bahamas. We don't even know anymore. Chris Hahn, there he is. Yeah. He's in Satan's trusted lair. And we've got Hannah Cox. Oh, Hannah looks like she's in St. Petersburg, which is a wonderful city this time of year. Good to have you all. So let's discuss this. How bad is it, Carol?
It's pretty bad, and the thing is that you hit on it in your opening segment, but it's the problem is that the Biden administration continues to deny what's happening. I think that's really step one, is admitting you have a problem, and they're nowhere near that yet. They're still like, everything is fantastic, so good, couldn't be better. But Americans know what's going on. They know the price of gas, they know the price of food. There's so many things that I just think are wildly expensive right now, and also there aren't any of it. It's really just getting pretty bad out there, and this is a hard thing to cover up. This isn't something like, I feel like unemployment is easier to cover up. If you haven't lost your job, if you don't know anybody who's lost their job, you might not know unemployment is high, but you know inflation is high when your money has become worthless and it's just impossible to buy anything.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because that's the problem, Chris, is people are feeling it. And I know a lot of times, we look for someone to blame. We want to blame someone. We want to blame the guy in power, the party in power. But I want to shift a little bit from that so people aren't totally unnerved, because there's a lot that is unnerving. And I actually disagree with Jerome Powell when he says the consumer is strong, because when you have consumer confidence that is dipping to 2008 levels, that's really bad, because there is a lag between consumer confidence dropping and consumer spending dropping. And that's going to happen next, unfortunately. And that's when you're in real deep yogurt. But I want to know what you think of Jerome Powell, and is a soft landing possible here?
I hope so, but I don't think so at the moment. I think things are pretty bad right now and getting worse. Every conversation I've had the last month or so has included a conversation about the economy. And I'm not talking about conversations I've had with other political people. I'm talking about just regular people that I meet on a daily basis. People are concerned about inflation, mostly driven by oil prices. Yes, there are a lot of people hiring still. The job market has never been this robust. But things are tough, and we've got to hope that this increase they did today to interest rates is going to help slow things down with this recession, this drive towards recession, and allow the economy to start to recover. I am concerned about it. It is a political problem for Joe Biden and Democrats heading into the midterm. There's no way to sugarcoat it, even though it is not necessarily their fault. Market forces are driven by other things besides politics. And unfortunately for him, he's going to have to deal with the market he's got.
Acknowledging the problems as they arise, I think that is pretty important, because, yes, there may be some things out of your control, but acknowledging when there were other people, particularly liberty-minded economists, looking at all of this, saying there's more money than goods right now, and this is going to be a real problem. Talked about the lag in consumer confidence versus consumer spending. There was also a lag in pumping so much money into the economy and then seeing prices go up and up and up, because there was just more money out there in circulation than stuff to buy with it, which makes the few things that you have much more expensive. So, Hannah, for those of us, I would include you in this conversation, who've talked about ending the Fed for so long, this is one of the reasons why, because it's essentially a bubble machine. They just create bubbles, and then, they think that they can get a handle on everything and rein in inflation, but they're going to do too much. The soft landing requires a soft touch. I don't think they have that. Does anyone trust the Fed?
I don't think anybody who knows anything about history trusts the Fed at this point. It feels like we're on a plane barreling towards the ground, and Joe Biden and Jerome Powell are the pilots, and they're drunk, and they keep telling us everything's fine, everything's fine. And we're like, no, we're barreling towards the ground. At this point, I don't even think it's gaslighting. I think they're in very deep denial, and I think that they cannot blame the one thing that all true people who are being honest can blame, which is the Fed. They did take direct policy actions that created this. The Democrats and some Republicans, yes, also voted to keep spending and therefore printing more dollars as everything was shut down. This is not rocket science. Anybody who knows basic Econ 101 knew that these conditions would be created by the actions that they took. People like Ron Paul have been warning that the Fed is messing with our economy for decades and decades and decades. They're playing with play money at this point. We have got to get a hold of our currency, and if we don't, it's just going to keep getting worse. And at the end of the day, that's not something we can take lightly, because that's real lives on the line. That's real people who can't feed their kids, who can't get a job when they need one. That's something that we need to take very seriously. And I'm quite tired of people on the left saying it's just a little bit more gas money, it's just a little bit more gas money, it's not a big deal. No, it is a big deal. And this is what actually hurts people in the long run and why people can't get out of poverty.
Yeah, and when you can't afford gas, it's a big deal. When you have people like Stephen Colbert saying, I don't care if gas goes to $15 a gallon because I drive a Tesla. Well, Jennifer Granholm has millions of dollars invested in an electric car company, so maybe those people are not the most honest actors when it comes to feeling the pain of people who are getting hit first and the hardest. And guess what? Those are going to be the people who go out and vote. We got much more with the panel during the show. It's a big one. They're coming up a little later.